Let's talk about now, and we'll come back to that after a little bit, and we'll talk about those. But let's talk about how we can achieve true success. How can we actually do it? A proper view of success doesn't mean that success is available only to a fortunate few. No, it doesn't mean that at all. On the other hand, it doesn't endorse the fantasy book story that all you have to do is follow your dreams and everything will work out right. That's kind of a fairy tale story. That isn't real life. That notion, though, is often spoon-fed to children, and so that can lead to disappointment because they think, oh, all you got to do is just plan this and whatever, and it's going to work out. Well, that's being a little bit short-sighted on things. It's a lot harder than that. So that, like I said, many kids who are taught that will lead to disappointment. But the fact is that real success can be attained by anybody. Anybody can do that. But it just requires a little effort. So we're going to consider 4 principles, and we'll talk about how these principles can apply to help us to attain true success. Okay? The first one that we can consider is this. It says, a lover of silver will never be satisfied, I should say, with silver, nor a lover of wealth with income. In other words, if that's your love, no matter how much you make, you're never going to be happy. And what this means is a materialistic lifestyle does not guarantee satisfaction. In fact, most often just the opposite is true. And here's a quote from a book called Generation Me by Dr. Jean Twenge. Her name is spelled Twenge. Dr. Jean Twenge. She says this, people whose primary motivations are financial are much more likely to be anxious and depressed than people who value strong relationships with others. She goes on and says, research consistently finds that money cannot buy happiness. After you reach a subsistence level, in other words, you have basically what you need, income is not significantly related to life satisfaction. End quote. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Now here's what we can do then. So set a goal of something that's more rewarding than just wealth and possessions. It could be helping other people. It could be coming up with something that's going to change the view of in medicine or something. I mean, that may be an extreme, but I mean, just things that are worthwhile, things you can do in your technology field that really are of value rather than just, okay, how much can I make here and how much can I buy with what I make? Set goals that are more rewarding than it. And guard against every sort of greed. Because even when a person has an abundance, his life doesn't result from the things he possesses. The more toys we have, the more toys we want a lot of times. Now again, please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying it's not good to have nice cars or nice homes. I'm not saying that at all. It's going beyond. It's getting to the point where that's our main thrust. And we put aside other things, including relationships and family and how we treat other people and things like that. So that's the key. We want to have a good conscience along while we're working in our careers. Enjoy what we're doing, have a good conscience, apply moral standards. I guess we can say that's almost a bottom line. Now, here's another principle that we can follow. Pride is before a crash, and a haughty spirit, that is being super proud, before stumbling. Now, what this means is that ambition and conceit will not help you find true success. Another quote here, the book Good to Great, says this. It says that, note that company leaders who have achieved long-term success display a compelling modesty, are self-effacing, and understated. In other words, they don't think too much of themselves. In contrast, this goes on, 2/3 of the comparison companies had leaders with gargantuan personal egos that contributed to the demise or continued mediocrity of the company. End quote. So the lesson then is thinking too much of ourselves is likely to lead to failure than it is to success. It's okay to have a good opinion of yourself. We just don't want to have a better opinion of ourselves than necessary. We don't want to get into the point where we're haughty, where we're egotistical, where we're the only one that has the right answers, that type of thing. So what can we do? Instead of seeking prestige, cultivate modesty. Someone once said, if anyone thinks he is something when he's nothing, he's deceiving himself. And that's hardly an indicator of success then. Now another principle is this. There's nothing better for a man than to find enjoyment in his hard work. Okay? That means if you develop a strong work ethic, you will likely enjoy your work a lot more. In her book, Teach Your Children Well, another quote, Dr. Madeline Levine writes this, and I quote, part of feeling successful at something is being good at it Part of being successful at something is being good at it, and most of being good at something has to do with effort and persistence, end quote. And that includes having the resiliency to deal with setbacks, because we're always going to have that. We're always going to have, we could say, short-term failures anyway, setbacks. Learning how to deal with that, and then just keep moving on. Part of that same one there, it says, what can we do? Work hard to become proficient. Do not give up when we face obstacles. Figure out ways to overcome those obstacles. If you have children, give them according, of course, to their age and ability. Give them the opportunity to work through their problems. Don't try to fix everything for them. Because then when you do that, you're not helping them to reason out and to think about things. You're not helping them to grow. You're not helping them to be good adults when the time comes. If they're dependent on you to do everything for them, they're going to be spoiled brats, basically. And they're going to not know how to cope with the real world when they get out in there. So, don't be hasty to rush in, fix all their problems. Young people really need genuine satisfaction and acquire good training for adulthood. And so they will develop that resilience as well. Now, another thing we can do is, it says, another principle, a live dog is better than a dead lion. What does that mean? A lion's a king of beasts. He's the king of the jungle. A dog is just a lowly creature. But if the lion gets killed or he dies, he's not better off than the live dog, is he? So here's what this really means. If you're a hard worker individual, your job should be part of your life, but it should not be your whole life. Okay? That's the key. It's an important part of our life, but not our whole life. How successful could we be if we're at the top of our profession, but we lose our self-respect, we lose the respect of others, we perhaps lose our health. Our family, we're almost divorced from our family because we never see them because we're workaholics. People are truly successful endeavor to keep their work, health, and family in a proper balance. So here's what we can do. We can take care of ourselves. We can get proper rest. We can watch what we eat. We can get exercise. I mean, these are mostly common sense things. Again, it's a matter of keeping things in balance. Don't be overbalanced in one area, underbalanced in another area. And so there's little benefit, in other words, in becoming a workaholic who really sacrifices everything, health, family, and the friends and everything for false success. So those are 4 principles. And this is not rocket science. It's just a lot of it is common sense. And it's a lot of thinking in our own minds, all right? What should be really important? And hopefully principles like this will be able to guide you. In fact, when we're done, the sheet that I'm referring to here will pass out, and you'll be able to have those if you care to refer back to those. Now, let's go back to your little quiz thing that we took here, okay? If you want to take a look at those sheets that you wrote down information on. If you said that Tim and Rachel, or for that matter, all 4 of the individuals on there were successful, then you might be measuring success by results only, regardless of the means by which those results were achieved. Does that make sense? On the other hand, if you chose only Santosh and Anusha, then you're measuring success by a person's character traits and work ethic. It makes sense then to do so. Consider the following examples here, 2 examples. Which is better for Anusha's long-term welfare? That she gets the highest grades or that she has a love of learning? She nurtures that love of learning. Which is best? Well, I think we would have to say probably that is. And which is better for Santosh's children? That they have everything money can buy, or that they have a father who shows them respect and values spending time with them to help them grow up. So the bottom line really is that false success is based on image, whereas true success is based on proper values. And so that's why Dr. Wahby invited me to talk here, because we've shared thoughts like this. And he asked if I would come to the class and bring a little bit of practical information to you on that, because we both feel very similarly on these. And so in my career, I've tried very hard to follow these principles. I'm not standing up here and telling you this is the way to do it and not doing it myself. As a result, I'm comfortable. I'm fine in my retirement. I'm not extremely wealthy. But I made it a point to treat people like I wanted to be treated throughout my career. And I have a very good conscience as a result of that, and I can go to sleep at night. And to me, I really feel that what I'm telling you here, what we're saying, is actually works. It's the real way to find true success in life. So don't think I'm trying to discourage you from having a good job and trying to improve. Not at all. It's just keep things in balance and try to apply some of the principles, and I think you'll find real happiness doing that. So that's all I have to ask or to say about that subject. Now, if you have any questions you want to ask me about this or about some areas of financial advisory, I don't consider myself an expert. I always cringe when people say they're an expert in something. Nobody can be an expert. Very few people can be experts in anything. But I have had a working career in that. So I don't know all the answers, but if there's anything I can help you with that you want to ask, I'd be glad to.